With Miss Earth being just around the corner, I thought it would be interesting to look into their history, particularly their history when it comes to their winners and who have actually won the pageant. Miss Earth, if you guys didn't know, is a Philippines-based international pageant. It's one of the big four, as people like to say, part of the group of international pageants which are held in high regard, such as Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss International. Although I also like Miss Supranational and also Miss Grand International. I call these the big six. Miss Earth is part of these very prestigious international pageants that a lot of millions of girls all around the world aspire to partake in. Miss Earth is also very well known for their advocacy, what they stand for. They're very much about conservation, about awareness of conservation, environmentalism, social responsibility, etc., which is of course very commendable, especially coming from myself, who is South African Namibian. I think that all of us are very much focused on conservation. We are very much aware of conservation, so I do appreciate that about Miss Earth, I must say. Miss Earth is also a relatively new pageant. It was established in 2001, so only 21 years ago, as opposed to Miss Universe and Miss World, which we all know was established in the early 50s, Miss International, which was established in 1960. Miss Earth is, rather new when it comes to international pageantry. So at the very first edition of Miss Earth, which was in 2001, 42 contestants competed, and on the 28th of October 2001, Denmark's Katarina Svensson, who was only 19, was crowned the very first Miss Earth. The next year, in 2002, the contestants shot up to 53 contestants, and on the 29th of October 2002, Bosnia and Herzegovina's Jela Glavovic, who was 19, won Miss Earth 2002. Now, Jela was later dethroned. She was allegedly unable to fulfill her duties, which is just basically every single remark that every single pageant organization who have ever dethroned anyone keeps giving us. I mean, it doesn't really say a lot of details. Unable to fulfill her duties can basically range from she wasn't able to show up to certain events to anything. So I don't really know why she was dethroned. Nobody really knows. If you have any idea, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know. But she was replaced by a runner-up from Kenya, Winfred Omwakwe, who was 20 years old. And Winfred was crowned the new Miss Earth 2002 on the 7th of August 2003. At Miss Earth 2003, 57 contestants competed, and on the 9th of November 2003, Honduras's Dania Prince, who was 23, took over from Winfred as the new Miss Earth. In 2004, 61 contestants competed at Miss Earth, and on the 24th of October 2004, Brazil's Priscilla Meirelles, who was 21 years old, took the title of Miss Earth. At Miss Earth 2005, 80 contestants competed, which is a huge jump from the 61 that had competed the previous year. And on the 23rd of October 2005, Alexandra Braun, who was 22 years old and from Venezuela, won the 5th Miss Earth title. 82 contestants competed at Miss Earth 2006, where Chile's Gil Hernandez, who was 22 years old, took the title on the 26th of November 2006. And at Miss Earth 2007, the contestant amount shot up to 88, which has been the record number of contestants for Miss Earth to date. Also, very interestingly about Miss Earth 2007, this had been the first year that the pageant hadn't been entirely held in the Philippines. So the pageant was partly held in the Philippines, partly in Vietnam, but the final pageant, the final crowning, was still held in the Philippines. So Canada's Jessica Trisco, who was 23 years old, took the crown on the 11th of November 2007. In 2008, 85 contestants competed at Miss Earth. And for the very first time on November 9th, 2008, the Philippines won their very first Miss Earth crown, which is sort of surprising seeing that Miss Earth was established in the Philippines. They definitely handled it with a lot more grace than Miss Universe did, having all of those Miss USA's crowned Miss Universe in the initial years. Carla Henry, I definitely think, deserved her Miss Earth crown. Carla, by the way, was 22 years old. And at Miss Earth 2009, 80 contestants competed, and Brazil's Larissa Ramos, who was 20 years old, took the crown on November 22nd, 2009. At Miss Earth 2010, there were 84 contestants competing, and this is actually the very first edition, which is held entirely outside of the Philippines in Vietnam. This is also the 10th edition of Miss Earth. And at this edition, on December 4th, 2010, India's Nicole Faria, who was 20 years old, took the crown. At Miss Earth 2011, 84 contestants competed, and on the 3rd of December 2011, Ecuador's Olga Alava, who was 23 years old, took the crown. At Miss Earth 2012, 80 contestants competed, and Czech Republic's Teresa Faxova, who was 23, took the crown on November 24th, 2012. Again, a record amount of contestants, 88, took part at Miss Earth 2013, and Venezuela's Elise Hendrick took the crown on December 7th, 2013. She was 22 years old at the time. At Miss Earth 2014, 85 contestants competed, and again the Philippines won a Miss Earth crown through 20-year-old Jamie Harrell on the 29th of November 2014. 2015 was a very interesting year at Miss Earth, as this was only the second time ever that Miss Earth was held completely outside of the Philippines. Austria actually hosted that year, and 86 contestants competed. But that's not all. This is actually a very interesting and important year for Miss Earth, because this is Miss Earth's one and only back-to-back win. On December 5th, 2015, Angelia Ong from the Philippines, who was 25 years old, actually won a back-to-back, seeing as the previous year, Miss Earth 2014, was also from the Philippines. Of course, back-to-backs do happen, but a lot of people were, a bit sus of the fact that Miss Earth is based in the Philippines, and now they're having this sudden back-to-back. But this is nothing compared to what happens later on. In 2016, 83 contestants competed, and on October 29th, 2016, Ecuador's Catherine Espin, who was 23 years old, took the crown. And in 2017, 85 contestants competed, but on November 4th, 2017, the Philippines had their third Miss Earth win in 4 years, when Catherine Ibasco, who was 26 years old, took the crown. Now, a lot of people were getting a bit sus, to be honest with you. They didn't trust the fact that the Philippines, who, basically was in charge of Miss Earth, had their third win in 4 years. That's a little bit suspicious to people. So in the next year, at Miss Earth 2018, 87 contestants competed, and Vietnam actually won the crown on November 3rd, 2018. And I saw some things that suggested that the Philippines' Celeste Cortese, who you might recognize as Miss Universe Philippines at the moment, she's competing at Miss Universe 2022 very soon. She was actually a fan favorite to win Miss Earth 2018, but seeing as she was representing the Philippines and they had won so many times in, only the 4 years prior, a lot of people thought that she was left out on purpose in order to not make her win and upset more people. At the end of the day, Celeste only ended up reaching the top 8. At Miss Earth 2019, 85 contestants competed, and on October 26, 2019, Puerto Rico's Nellis Pimentel, who was 22, took the crown. Now, unfortunately, we all know what happens after 2019. Unfortunately, in 2020, Miss Earth was a virtual pageant. Despite this, 84 contestants still competed at Miss Earth 2020, and on November 29th, 2020, USA's Lindsay Coffey, who was 28 years old, the eldest winner ever to win Miss Earth, was crowned Miss Earth 2020. Miss Earth 2021 unfortunately was a virtual pageant yet again, but still 80 women showed up to compete at Miss Earth 2021. And on November 21st, 2021, Belize's Destiny Wagner won the competition. She was 25 years old at the time. This year there are 86 contestants competing at Miss Earth, and luckily it is back to being an on-stage pageant held in the Philippines as usual. I'm so excited. The finals of Miss Earth 2022 will be held on the 29th of November this year. And what I found so interesting looking at Miss Earth's history is the amount of women who have won from certain countries. So the most successful country, of course, the most successful country at Miss Earth, due to their whole string of wins in the mid-2010s, is of course the Philippines with 4 wins under the belt. Other than that, Ecuador has 2 wins, Venezuela has 2 wins, and Brazil has 2 wins as well. Let me know what you guys think of Miss Earth's history. Who is your favorite Miss Earth ever to be crowned? Did I leave anything out? Please let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.